This is the Throttle Out Show, presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Good evening, family. Thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Austin Tweedy, and this is the Throttle Out Show. I know you're going to be confused. You don't see a beautiful Miss Harley Jo over here. Now, if you were over here with me, you would go and you would follow this hallway. You take a left, you're going to enter in what is our bedroom, and you're going to see Harley Jo pass the flip out doing one of these. She's not feeling very great tonight, so she's not joining us, but don't worry. She'll be back for Wheels Up Wednesday. Now, I do have another beautiful co-host somewhere out there in Detroit Rock City. I guess I go ahead and bring him on right now. What's up, good buddy? What's up, Austin Spence?
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. You know what? I hate to hear that Harley's feeling a little bit sick. I think she needs some good old, some Verners to kind of help with whatever she's got going on. Because, that's kind of like our own personal little trick up here. Anytime you got a stomach ache or you're not feeling great, a little bit of Pepto-Bismol and Verners, you'll be on your way. So,
yeah, down here in the South, we just use, whiskey. Just a couple shots of whiskey, and I don't think she's done that yet, so hence why she's still sick. But no, that girl has been busting her ass all week, working the opening shift, getting very little sleep. We went to a monster truck show last night, didn't get home till late, and it's all caught up with her, and she's not feeling good, so she's taking a break. So God bless that woman for all she does for the Throttle Out Show and for me, but don't worry, I'm not going to, pump her up too much. I'll make sure she's back here, cleaning on this kitchen here before the end of the night. Anyways,
dude, it has been a busy weekend. We're just gonna put that out right now. Going into starting the show, we had no idea where to start because not only did you guys went to a Two Extreme show to support, our friends with the Cretan camp and everything. I went out to Fort Wayne with some friends to go to a Full Throttle monster truck show. I mean, it has been just nonstop. It seems like all weekend with just constant monster truck stuff. So we're going to try and get through all of it. If we miss a show, we're sorry, but there's just so much that happened this week.
Not only was there so much that happened, but all those shows were awesome. Every single one of them were on point. So, I mean, y'all can help us if you want. If y'all in the comment section think you can rate all the shows after you see us break down everything this week, and you can rate them, from best to worst. I mean, feel free, knock yourselves out, but it was a crazy weekend. And also, we've been getting a lot of information, a lot of, we talk about, like on Wheels Up Wednesdays, we talk about the latest that's happening in the monster truck community. A lot of people send us some things they've been hearing, floating around the local rumor mill. And there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to even talk about last Wednesday, but holy crap, y'all, we went for an hour and a half on Wheels Up Wednesday. So there's going to be some things that I might even bring up tonight just to, to clarify some things that we said on Wednesday. Now, like you said, Spence, where do we start? I don't know, but let's say hi to Jerry R, to Rail Stalker Adventures. Let's say hi to James Hamlin. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, John Cadeau, Will Ketterer? What's up, man? Hope you're doing all right. Preston Collins, the man. Lee Plato sent us some beautiful video footage from a show out in California we'll get to here in a little bit. All y'all watching, thanks for tuning in tonight. Tom Mintz, what's going on, man? I hate that you hit the wall. I know you're going to get a phone call about that.
You also got Timothy Jones and LeDuc in the comments.
I tell you what, Spence, let's start with this. We had the boys over at the Crush This podcast. They sent us some beautiful footage from the Hoffman Estates show, a.k.a. Chicago IL, of the Hot Wheels tour. And I'll be completely honest with you. Y'all are going to be pissed at me. Cheech and Bradshaw, they're going to be pissed at me as well because they sent us some beautiful footage, and I freaking messed it all up. I realized whenever I was uploading it that I only put like half of what they sent me. So I apologize, everybody. And thank you, Cheech. Thank you, Bradshaw, for sending us this beautiful footage of the Hot Wheels show that took place in Hoffman Estates. That's right. You got Bigfoot leading the race ace. You got Demo Derby, V8 Bomber, Tiger Shark, and what's the other one back there?
Tiger Shark and Bone Shaker, I believe.
Bone Shaker.
Yeah,
And then Mega Rex.
then you got Mega Rex. So it's kind of weird that they have an odd number of trucks. I wonder if Hot Wheels is working on an 8th truck identity, so that way they can have 8 truck arena shows. But still, honestly, these shows just look like they're just so much fun. Even though it is mainly just concrete and crush cars, it seems like a lot of people go to enjoy. And knowing Cheech, honestly, he probably loved it. Kind of a little throwback to the old Thunder National days. Just simple concrete crush cars, just simple and fun.
Oh, I'm sure he had a great time, man. I mean, now I will say this about the show. With all the trucks that you saw there in intros, to my knowledge, I think about half of them finished the damn show. There was a lot. Phil Swift would be proud of this. There was a lot of damage at this show.
Wait, for a Hot Wheels show, there's a lot of damage?
Yeah, there was a lot of people who didn't finish. Let's see here.
He
sent me everything. Hot Wheels Saturday afternoon demo derby won the Titan Cup, which is like winning the overall event championship.
Is that what they call it? The Titan Cup?
That's right. And then for Saturday night, Tiger Shark. What
was that?
Don't worry about what I just said. Don't worry about it.
Tiger Shark?
I'm trying to do too much over here at once. Tiger Shark won the Titan Cup for Saturday night. Sunday afternoon, Wheelies went to Demo Derby. Donuts, Mega Rex, Long Jump, Tiger Shark. Racing went to Demo Derby, who beat V8 Bomber in the finals. Freestyle went to Demo Derby. And then Bigfoot, Race Ace, and Mega Rex did not freestyle. 3 trucks.
What?
Not freestyle, all due to mechanical issues. Titan Cup winner, Demo Derby.
That is, oh man, having 2 Bigfoot trucks not finish the show. That's almost unheard of. That's kind of weird, don't you think, Tweety?
Hey, I'll tell you what, we'll get to more of that in a little bit because there's more where that came from. Let's just say Bigfoot didn't have a great weekend this past weekend. So that was the Hoffman Estates show, the Hot Wheels live tour. Thank you, Crush This Podcast, for the beautiful footage. Sorry, I wrecked everything else on my end, but you'll see what I'm talking about. There was a lot to cover this past weekend.
I guess we should probably, since people are bringing this up in the comments, it is, however, Dennis Anderson's birthday today. The icon, the man behind the black and green Wrecking Machine Gravedigger, it is his birthday. So from all of us on the Throttle Out Show, happy birthday. However, it also is a really good friend of ours' birthday today as well. Isn't it, Tweety?
His name is David Too Tall Offer! Happy birthday, David!
Couldn't forget about David. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, David seemed like he had a pretty good weekend, but we'll get to that here in a minute because, like we said, there's a lot we're building up to for everything that's gone on this weekend. So
I'm trying to figure out a good place to even transition to. Do you want to talk about what you did yesterday?
So we went to the Full Throttle Monster Truck Tour in Fort Wayne. They did have 2 shows. They did have a show on Friday. However, with work and everything, I couldn't exactly just leave and go to a monster truck show. So we had to wait and hunker down to go to the Saturday show. And it started at 7 o'clock at night, but we wanted to make sure we got there for the beginning of pit party. And oh my gosh, man, it was almost like a family reunion. I got to finally meet Brandon Overmeyer.
Good. That's awesome.
It was so cool, getting a chance to finally meet the guy. Because, of course, that's the one podcast that I wasn't able to be a part of, or the one show. I don't know why we're not a podcast, damn it.
That's right.
And, it was super cool because he was helping out with Andy Hoffman. He was wearing the crew shirt and everything. It was actually really funny because at the end of the show, I saw him get in the truck and move it off the track. I'm like, huh. So he does know how to drive something with methanol, not just diesel. But anyway, super cool to get a chance to meet him. And then we didn't intentionally mean for this to happen, but we talked to Jeff Cook, the president of the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame, for a good 2 hours. Like most of Pit Party, we were talking to him for a pretty good, decent amount. And I had some really good friends of mine that you guys may remember them from our Wheels Up Wednesday episode where we kind of had an open mic night. Mike Bev with the B Monsters team and Jacob Lowell. They're both roommates and students that go to UNOH. And so I kind of wanted to take them to a monster truck show, maybe show them a thing or two. And oh my gosh, man, if you could like picture a kid like on Sunday mornings watching cartoons, just how like wide-eyed they are just with like what they're watching. That's kind of how these guys were, just listening to Jeff Cook talk about some things that's been going on in the industry over the years. And it was just really cool seeing that these guys are like, gravitating towards all this information, asking questions. So, I think someday soon, we're definitely gonna have to take a trip. Actually, relatively soon, the actual big celebration at the Hall of Fame is gonna be coming up soon. I still need to buy my ticket. but hopefully I'll be making an appearance. However, getting into the actual show and everything that went on. So they did a wheelie competition, they did racing, and then they also had freestyle. However, they also had a little expedition where Jeff Cook brought in Hot Rod Harry, and they also had the Orange Crate Leaf Spring truck, and they also did a little old school exhibition over the crush cars, which honestly, super cool to see. And you had Mr. Christopher Allen, the curator over there at the Hall of Fame. He was getting excited on the mic, and oh my gosh,
he was
man!
Doing the announcing, Christopher Allen was
not the entire thing, but just like for the segment with the old school, like
nice.
It was super cool. I sent you the footage. Can we play it?
Are we ready?
Yeah, we got to play the old school. So wheelie winner went to Miss Kaylin Miguez, and her dad came out in Extreme Attitude and won racing. This is kind of what was a little on the on the tipping turn, because obviously with some of these events, they do crowd applause. It was between Darren and Kaylin who won freestyle. A lot of people thought Darren won because of crowd and everything, but she ended up winning both wheelies and freestyle. So, kudos to her and the Migas fan camp for basically overalling this entire weekend. But Jeff Cook, honestly, coming out, man, and just wheeling the old Hot Rod Harry. He even did some, even the other announcer over there in Orange Crush is just, they were just going to town. They're just having their own little fun, and people in the stands were loving it. I heard some old people in the stands that were just like, man, I remember when monster trucks were like this. Like, I remember where anybody could build a monster truck. And, it was just super cool to kind of have like almost like a little history lesson involved in the show about the museum and like where the sport has come from.
All right. So I have to ask, because for people watching who haven't been to the Hall of Fame, don't know what it's about, what is your first impression of meeting Mr. Jeff Cook? Nice guy?
Oh, dude, he's a very down-to-earth guy. And honestly, like, at first you kind of wonder, it's like, what, man, why do they call him Wild Man Jeff Cook? Well, if you look at some old footage and you see the way he wheels these old trucks, there's a reason why they call Jeff Wild Man Cook, because this guy is a nut behind the wheel of a monster truck. So he is not afraid to do anything. But as far as like meeting him in his person, if you're somebody who is passionate, you love monster truck, man, he will treat you like your family. And honestly, that was probably one of the coolest things, because, some people that are into monster trucks just because, money, if you're into monster trucks for money, you're in the wrong motorsport.
No joke.
But there's some people that are just not really good with the fans. Jeff Cook is one of those stand-up guys when it comes to talking to people about monster trucks. And honestly, I cannot wait to go to Hall of Fame and even talk to him even more. He may, in the future, possibly be a guest on the Throttle Out show. We will see.
Let's make it happen, y'all. I'd love to have Jeff Cook on the Throttle Out show. Now, moving forward, let's transition a little bit into what Harley and I did this past weekend. Let's talk about the show that happened in where, Spence? How'd you pronounce it last weekend?
Oh my gosh. It's
anybody in the comments know?
Is it Anus?
It is Ennis, Texas. Literally, Dennis Anderson, the guy watching in our comments right now, just take the D away. Ennis, Texas is where we were at, checking out Monster Chaos, the 2 Extreme show. And right out of the gate, we walk in, we get our tickets, we're walking to the pit party. We get to pit party. Who is the very first person we see but none other than Mr. Michael Brister and Hot Tamale signing autographs for the kids, having a good time with everybody. What a cool guy. But intros go off with a bang. Everybody's on their feet. Spence, there was a lot of freaking people at the show, and that's good for our industry when shows are selling out.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Especially if you got these. I'm assuming this was just a regular old dirt track, but still, even the track layout, when we get into the racing here, it seemed like it was very, very unique. And honestly, it seemed like everybody was having a great time. I'm really curious. How well did Brister do in racing? That's what I need to know.
Brister did awesome. This guy is figuring his truck out. That is one of Jimmy's old trucks. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I'm sorry in the comments if I got this wrong, but I think that truck that Brister's driving is a truck that maybe Jimmy built in-house or assisted in building, whatever. But hold on. Right here, before this happens, I'm going to pause it right here, leave y'all on a cliffhanger. To get back to what you were talking about with Brister, yes, Brister was doing a great job. And this racing track that y'all will see in a few minutes is absolutely off the chain. But we're getting into the skills competition of what happened last night, kind of going through everything. Check out Jimmy Cretin going for a bicycle. Dumping her over right on the lid. No saving it. So what do we got to do to roll the truck back over, Spence? What do we got to do?
Do they just not have loaders at Jimmy's shows at all?
Why would you need it when you can clearly use another truck to flip it back over. Now, I do think that is funny. They use Jekyll and Hyde to flip the truck back over. The one truck out there of the entire fleet of trucks, the one truck that had like no tread on his Terra tires. Don't know why.
Oh my
they
gosh.
that truck, but there were trucks out there with BKTs that had more tread on it than the tread that Austin Minton had on his Jekyll and Hyde. So coming back out for the skills competition. Here comes Michael Brister. Hot tamale. Check this out. You'll love this, Spence.
Attaboy, Brister. There you go. Oh man, I love this. I'm so happy to see Brister like getting in the seat in a really good truck. I mean, we've seen him in like Kamikaze and a couple other trucks before, but he seems very comfortable working with Jimmy Cretin and all them crew. However, I am very
in the racing. Brister's going to let him know he's there right after the race. He's going to hit him. He's going to keep hitting him. And then this is the semifinals race between Austin Minton, Jekyll and Hyde, Jimmy Cretin, Bounty Hunter. Both trucks coming to the final turn of racing. It is neck and neck. They are getting ready to catch some big old air, and they get a little too close to each other. Holy Toledo.
Man.
Let's see that one more time up a little closer.
But who won? That's what matters.
So, this was probably the biggest controversy of the night is they announced Jimmy Cretin as the winner. When
it doesn't look like it.
When you go back and look, it totally looks like Jekyll and Hyde Austin Minton won. Now, afterwards, if we fast forward and Jimmy Cretin, he wins racing. He hops on the mic and he says, I feel like Austin got me in racing, but they gave me the win, whatever, I'll take it. So he even acknowledged that was Austin Minton's race to win. But what a finish. That was just in the semifinal round of racing. The racetrack at this event, y'all, was absolutely awesome. This whole course was awesome. I really hope they continue to do more shows here and they continue to grow and get bigger and get better. I absolutely think that they will this is the final round of racing. Sorry, y'all. I absolutely think it'll get bigger and better. This is the first time they put on a show there. And I'm not going to lie. I got a friend of mine that lives maybe 5 minutes down the road from this racetrack. I didn't even know this place existed. So I definitely think we'll have more shows back at the Big O Speedway in Ennis, Texas.
So two things. So one, kind of backtracking a little bit in that race. Do you think maybe Austin Minton was too afraid of Jimmy to where he was like, you know what, I'm just going to give Boss Man the win because he's probably already mad enough as it is because both of his trucks collided. So it's like, yeah, sure, Jimmy, you won. Go face Brister. And then you looked at that race with Brister. Brister had an issue in the turn. It looked like he was going to torpedo Jimmy for a second.
Brister is a freaking wild man, y'all. He is doing exactly what he's wanted to do ever since he was a little boy, which is get out there and run these trucks hard. And he did just that last night. Check this out. I don't know if you see that black box down there, but he almost whacked that baby. That was the timing light that they were using. That was one of Austin Minton's first hits last night in freestyle.
Again, building damage. You'll never hear the end of it. And not to mention these big speedway shows, you don't really have anything for building damage. But honestly, this seems like an absolute blast. So was it just Cretin's trucks, and then you had a couple Harper trucks there as well? How many trucks were there total, Tweety?
You had Jekyll Hyde, you had Hot Tamale, you had Scarlet Bandit, and Bounty Hunter. Then you had the Sheriff, and you had El Oso Loco. And you see these guys out here running what they call the train and freestyle. Jimmy's going to go out here at the Van Stack, and then El Oso Loco was just going to go ahead and freaking send it. Man, this guy had the air of the night coming off that obstacle.
Dude, I'm kind of jealous. This looks like an absolute blast of a track. And honestly, this giant, I don't want to call it a pod, but this giant hill of sand or dirt that they constructed in the middle, I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, these trucks were literally airing out for freestyle or for racing even. I mean, it was weird. You could tell that they definitely felt uneasy about it, but they still weren't limping over and racing, right? They were still airing it out. It was like a damn long jump competition for racing. But I got to say, with that event right there, I mean, I say give it a 9 out of 10 because there's always going to be room for improvement. But that was a great show. It was a great way to spend our Saturday night. Tickets definitely affordable. And of course, as always, at the Two Extreme shows, the Monster Chaos Tour, they always make sure everybody who attends these shows gets an autograph. Everybody leaves happy. They'll stay till 1 o'clock in the morning and sign autographs if they have to. So, like I said, you had a couple of Harper's trucks there. I definitely think the Cretins will be back at this venue, putting on more shows, and I think they can continue to amp it up. Maybe, in my opinion, Spence, I think with a course like that, you could have some type of championship series there. Some big, world finals ish, caliber show at a speedway show like that with a lot of room to run.
And honestly, with some of these shows that we see with other promotions like MAP and, even with what the Toughest Monster Truck Tour did, you're absolutely right. With a big floor plan like that, there is nothing but room for improvement to make a really big, badass track to make it very unique. So I'd agree. If they were to somehow put some kind of a point series together for next year or sometime in the future, I could totally see Jimmy coming up with some really unique and crazy race course. However, I think until then, Jimmy, boss man, you might need to work on your two-wheel skills a little bit.
Work on the bicycle, man. Let Brister teach you a thing about bicycling your own.
There you go.
He did a good job of that a few weeks ago from what I saw. Now, let's go ahead and change gears a little bit. Let's talk about some beautiful footage that was sent to us. Roseville, California show by Lee Plato. This is off the Malicious Tour. Is that right, Spence?
Yep, the Malicious Tour. So this was all Bill Payne. And honestly, it looked like it was an absolute mud fest. I mean,
there were a lot of shows this past week, and all the country was getting hit with rain. And you see, is this Spitfire? Is that the name of this truck?
Yep, Spitfire. This is honestly one of the only few Dragon trucks that I actually think looks pretty badass. Not to mention, Bill Payne actually made that body in-house, and I actually remember on his social media actually showing the whole process of like having like a skeleton to a mold to actually like making the body itself. So super cool to see that truck in action. Now, what is going on with Rockstar over here? This guy is just all over the damn place.
True Bill Payne fashion. And I don't know if Bill Payne's driving, because I was told that he was driving Kylie Kidd. Maybe he's driving both trucks. I don't know.
I mean, why not? Why only settle for one? I'm not gonna lie. These short wheelbase trucks just seem like they're either an absolute blast to drive or just an absolute handful. Regardless, I mean, it looks like in a mud show, he's having a little bit of trouble trying to get around.
I like this comment from Taylor Andes. Dang, how many people they Vic for those RVs?
Honestly, man, I miss seeing RVs. I really do. I miss seeing more of the destruction aspect in monster truck shows. So good on Bill Payne to getting a bunch of crush cars and getting a bunch of RVs out there.
Check this out. Lee Plato's comment. Bill Payne, he drove both trucks, the robot and the tractors. He's a madman with laughing emojis.
Dude, trailer racing, even better. Okay. You guys may not know this, but I am a sucker for trailer racing in anything. This is so freaking cool. Dude, Tweety, can we do one? Can we please do a trailer race for just sometime in the future?
Listen to this. Lee was telling me that these guys take it to the freaking next level. Look at this shit. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. I want to do this so bad. Honey, I need to borrow the Blazer for a weekend.
Round of applause for the people who won the trailer race.
Well deserved. It ain't easy. It ain't easy winning a trailer race for sure. You got a bunch of crap you got to run around. But that's super cool. Seriously, we need to do an EVA Destruction or something next year for Throttle Out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Timothy Jones is not right. Not wrong, though. I mean, the cleanup, though, with an event like that. Woo! I want to be on that crew.
Hey, you just have yourself a big bonfire. That's all I'm saying.
Lee Plato, thank you for that footage, man. He was there hanging out this past weekend, obviously not running his trucks, just there hanging out and just doing what he can to help the guys put on a damn good show. Now, moving forward, we had some footage sent to us by Technical Gameplay for the show that happened with the Toughest Monster Truck Tour in Beaumont, Texas, which is down by Houston, where there was another show. We'll get to that in a minute. But Technical Gameplay sent us this beautiful footage of the Redline Oil Vendetta, sponsored by the Throttle Out Show, popping a nice wheelie in the wheelie competition. Had a few good hits, actually, and you're going to see the rest of the wheelie competition because actually wasn't that bad. It was cool. Spence, how do you feel about the Toughest Monster Truck Tour arena shows compared to other arena shows out there?
They're entertaining. So actually a really good buddy of mine, Mr. John Costin, Indy Monster, was also at this same show. And honestly, even though there's not as many trucks as you would see at like a Monster Jam arena event, there's just so much that these guys can do compared to a Monster Jam arena where there's just one pod. Look at the insane size of these ramps and obstacles. There's crush cars. There's also plenty of room on the floor to where, you know, if they want to open the trucks up a little bit, they can. But I mean, just seeing everybody just dragging the ass end of these trucks across the track, I mean, it makes for a good wheelie competition. There needs to be more butts in those seats. That's all I'm saying. But
yeah, I don't know. This might be from the Saturday night show. Yeah, I think this is from the Saturday night show.
Okay. And I believe Mark McDonald was driving in Quad Chaos this weekend. If you guys saw, he was actually rocking a tutu during pit party.
He was, man, because he was driving the girly version of Quad Chaos. I'm sorry, this is from Friday night, not Saturday night.
Friday night? Okay. Still, though, man, I mean, it was... Oh, wait. Do they have 5-second penalties every time you hit the barrel in racing? I remember that from way back when.
This up because it was both of Team Throttle Monsters trucks racing each other in first round of racing, and the person driving Jurassic Attack is Dalton Widener. I think I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Dalton Widener, a newer driver for them. He's actually doing a damn good job. But Here we go, getting freestyle started. Mike Christensen starting off things, getting that truck, airing it out. Mark McDonald driving the girly Quad Chaos, but putting it to the test. Didn't have that long of a run. I think maybe he was facing some mechanical issues, but look at Dirt Crew being aired out, Spence.
Dude, Jeremy Beck's on a whole nother level. Now, I'm waiting until you get some footage because I remember towards the end of this weekend, Buckshot had no body left. And so I'm wondering what happened.
I don't have any of that footage where he doesn't have any body left, but I'm pausing this because I just want y'all to see Brandon Budd and the Buckshot monster truck was out there harvesting onions like he's never harvested onions before. This guy was going all out like he had everything to prove and nothing to lose. I mean, watch this guy drive.
He just dragged a crush car off the pod. That's awesome.
You haven't even seen his first hit in freestyle yet. It's coming up here in just a minute. This guy was going all out.
Oh my gosh. I think I remember there was a if you guys don't know, Elliot Miller, the holy crap, that's massive air. He does it. He has his own TikTok if you guys want to check it out. But he took the Let's Go Brandon footage as he was there this weekend rooting for Brandon Budd. Just great, honestly.
Here we go. Here we go. First hit in freestyle. Whoa!
Good night. Up. Holy crap. The amount of control he had before, he didn't even hit the yellow, like, I guess you could call it a safety barrier, but not even close to hitting even the regular stadium wall. I mean, the amount of control that guy has in his truck, absolutely insane.
So close, man. Oh my gosh. And that's the way he started off his freestyle. So let me get you the results from Friday night. Friday night, wheelies, Buckshot. Racing, Buckshot. Freestyle, Buckshot. Overall, Brandon Budd.
That's what I figured. I was going to say, he just swept the whole weekend.
Saturday show at the 1 p.m. show, not sure about every single element, but the overall went to Buckshot. And then you had Saturday night, wheelies, Buckshot. Racing, Buckshot. Freestyle, Buckshot. Overall, Buckshot.
Good Lord. Let's go, Brandon. Can we get Let's Go Brandon in the chat, please? Oh, that is amazing. That is awesome. Now, there is actually a really cool photo if you guys want to find it. Tweety doesn't have the footage, and I'm not in control of everything here. So, Quad Chaos, I don't know if it was in wheelies or if it was in freestyle, but he stuffed the ass end of the truck, and the little orange flag that sticks out of the truck got perfectly stuck in the dirt mound on the track.
Somebody just sent me some more footage, and I want to try and get it up here before the end of the show. So y'all forgive me. That's what I'm doing right now. But what else we had happen this past weekend, Spence? We had a show happen in Wheatland, Missouri. This is a big show for the independents. I think the entire event, Spence, if I'm not mistaken, is sponsored by Lucas Oil. Is that right?
I believe so. I believe it's another MAP event, but you have like most of Team Gardner and Team Scream at this show. Not to mention, since I know he's in the comments, Timothy Jones debuting the brand new Tailgater on his Twisted Addiction chassis. First of all, I just want to say this real quick, Timmy, since I know you're watching. Seeing that Tailgater body scheme on an OBS Ford just perfects that truck. It's almost like a homage to the old Snakebite. I think it looks great. Tweety, I know you're kind of a little about the whole thing.
No, don't even go there. That's not why you saw me post this thing, doing this past week. That's
because it's like, what? How are you going to hate? It's a Ford. I thought you would be all over that.
I'm appreciating. I'm not hating. I thought it was interesting considering he already has another identity that has that same front clip on it. If you remember back in the day, Schaefer Motorsports did similar things with like the Monster Patrol identity, right? They had a Scorpion King truck that had the wing on it, the same Dodge front clip. Then you had the Black Label Society monster truck that had, it was actually the Clydesdale monster truck, but it had the wing on the back. So they were doing different things, with the same, unique piece. So I think it's interesting. Now he's got, multiple identities. And to my knowledge, Timothy, if you're still watching, I thought he was building another truck, or he has another truck that's on its way or almost completed.
I wouldn't be surprised if Timothy Jones is going to be like the next Bill Payne, where he's just going to hop out one truck and climb in the next.
He just might be. But let's go ahead. Let's check out some footage from this past weekend. Thanks to Nate Bay and the footage that he sent in. And Spence, this was another mud show, brother.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying seeing the loading sign right now, so I'm excited to see. The anticipation is building for sure.
Oh, it's playing on my end, but yeah, they're going out for intros right now. Nate Bay sent us the footage. It was a damn mud show, just like it was in most of America this past weekend. The final round of racing come down to Jim Kohler in Avenger and Terminal Velocity, John Zimmer Jr.
There we go. Was this another? Holy crap! It looks like it was another mud show. It finally just loaded. So if anybody else was having issues, it literally just loaded for me. But my gosh, an absolute mud fest. But honestly, this looks like an absolute blast of a show.
Another big speedway show, and somebody was mentioning down in the comments earlier, I think it was Lee Plato, was just saying, this is a really safe way to do a show. You got the catch fence, but these trucks are still going out there. They're airing it out, doing donuts, sliding around, drifting around the turns. This looked like an awesome show to go to and be a part of. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mav TV was there covering some stuff as well. I think they're always there.
I think they actually did this as a live event. There it is. Oh, they must have took the racerbacks off after pit party, but still, that truck just looks so good. And then there's Overboard doing what he does best, airing it out. But still, I love seeing Tailgater back in action. Even though it's not Doug Nolke, I love seeing that Tailgater's back. I love seeing the flashing red lights. I love that it's an OBS. It's still a Ford. So I'm a big fan. Now, what is going on with Zimmer here? Is he overheating or...
What's going on with Zimmer, I don't know, but what I will say is this guy burned it down in freestyle, took home the freestyle victory. So proud of this kid for going out here, learning the ropes from his pops, getting out there and wrenching in his first year, even having any experience actually, being in Monster Jam as a competitor, and then worked his way into the driver's seat and go out there and taking out some of the best at the Wheatland, Missouri show. So proud of this guy and put on a damn good show for these fans.
Honestly, man, this weekend, holy crap, that little double take there in freestyle. Oh,
awesome.
Wait, he lost the door? Oh, no, where'd the door go? Oh, man, that he probably just got pelted with a bunch of mud in that. Oh, hey, they had the fire-breathing semi-truck or whatever.
So this is where I messed up now. Okay. In his Texas show as well, there was another truck out there. The world famous Sammy Sturgis had his truck out there, which is a similar concept to what you just saw. That semi truck was roasting a car. Well, Sammy Sturgis did that in his street legal pickup truck out there roasting a car at the end night. And I have that video. It missed the final roll here.
Oh, man.
But I wanted y'all to compare the two, and I jacked it up, so my bad. But anyways.
Well, one looks like it's an old semi.
It looked like the other is just a C10. Part of. I'm jealous that for those of y'all who got to go and be a part of that event, that looked like a damn good time.
Honestly, if we could go to multiple events in one weekend, we absolutely would. But, I mean, we can only do so much. So we're beyond grateful that so many of you guys send us so much footage as to what's going on. And honestly, when we may not respond. We're mostly just going, "Holy crap, he did what?" I mean, that's just that's just our reaction in general. But honestly, man, just looking at what Zimmer's been doing, and honestly seeing what Zach has been doing. It's almost like a bittersweet. Obviously, the season's coming to an end. 2021 is soon to be done and over with. Monster truck shows are going to be slimmer and slimmer before first quarter starts. It's almost it's cool to see them doing as big as they are in the independent scene. But it's honestly, I really hope they absolutely stomp the arena series in Monster Jam. But they just have so much more potential than in such a tiny arena in such a what's a PG term I can use to describe the arenas this time?
Let's just say what they are capable of It's Monster Jam just doesn't have that field for them to go out and play in the Monster Jam arenas. They don't exactly have the cream of the crop or they're not the top tier when it comes to arena shows in Monster Jam, anyways. And we know that Zach Garner and John Zimmer Jr. have so much more to offer to the fans, to the monster truck racing world. So I am curious to see how they will fare come first quarter being on that tour. Now, here's a clip that I meant to put in the original roll of footage earlier, but looks like them boys down there in Florida had some fun this past weekend. Spence, BJ Johnson, Dale Bow, and Kevin King went out there and floated freaking monster truck or a mega truck, man.
I just want to say, I don't know if that guy's in the canoes being pulled by the truck, but that's what I want. I want to be like in a floaty being pulled by a monster truck in a lake. That seems like a great time. The only thing that's missing is seeing BJ and Lindsay hanging out the back with fishing poles.
They took and put BKTs on that mega truck, man. It's so freaking badass. You never know what you're going to see when you tune into the Throttle Out show. We do a little bit more than just monster trucks, but I mean, holy shit, I would have loved to have been at that event.
Well, speaking of mud truck events, man, this is unfortunately we don't have any footage of it, but our man Austin Wilder in the comments, he actually got to see Jeremy Hausman and Reckless Driving at a local mud bog here in Michigan. He threw on the tractor tires and just went haywire in some good old fields. I mean, if you guys go over to Wilder Images, he's got an entire video of the mud bog. Check it out. Super, super cool footage and awesome pictures of everything that he does in mud trucks, especially up here in Michigan. But yeah, seeing Jeremy Hausman just be like, I'm going to go to a mud bog this weekend in the monster truck, just kind of like a F it kind of ordeal. So I love it. Love everything about it.
Well, anywho, let's get down to what was the last big event of this past week. I know there were a lot more events that happened. This is just the last.
Hold up. Are we going to Houston? Because I think we should just knock out the arena results out of the way. Unless you just want to skip it altogether, because if we don't talk about arenas, we're not going to talk about our good buddy Too Tall.
Why don't you? Do you have the results in front of you?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Monster Jam Daily. I used your account because you're the quickest to post anything and everything Monster Jam related results. So again, thank you for that. So we're going to go results in event number 1 at Nampa, Idaho, at the Ford Idaho Center. Racing win went to Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger, followed by skills also with Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger. Donut goes to Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger. Freestyle, Brandon. This basically event number 1 was all Gravedigger. That's all you need to know.
All right.
So event number 2, racing winner went to Mr. David Alfred Too Tall.
David.
Skills winner went to Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger. Donut winner went to Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger. Freestyle went to Brandon Vincent and Gravedigger. Good Lord. But who is the overall? Mr. David Alfred and Too Tall and Jurassic Attack.
David!
Unfortunately, we don't have any footage or anything from this event. So, but still, it's cool seeing that Too Tall got a W as an overall, not just a regular win. Then moving into event number 3 in Nampa, racing again went to Mr. David Alfred and Jurassic Attack, followed by, and then they had, this was what's weird, because this is what I'm seeing. You had racing, and then you also had timed racing. I'm not entirely sure why they switched it up. So you go into timed racing, that went to Brandon Vincent. Skills went to Brandon Vincent. Donut winner went to Brandon Vincent. Basically, it was mostly a Gravedigger weekend in Nampa. But also, before we get into Houston, we also want to obviously acknowledge the Monster Jam class for the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Which went to Gary Porter and Mike Wales, even though we may not agree too much with what the Monster Jam Hall of Fame actually is. As far as legitimizing an actual Hall of Fame, it is cool to see that they inducted Gary Porter and the late Mike Wells as, Hall of Famers in the Monster Jam Hall of Fame. So kudos to them. Still awesome that they were able to do that and put on a somewhat of a ceremony. And they actually had Gary Porter during Pit Party at his own little booth for fans to kind of come up and talk to him. So super cool that they were able to do that. Now,
absolutely. We don't necessarily have a relationship with Gary Porter. Never got to know Mike Wales, but definitely, they deserve it though. And like you said, we may not exactly agree or understand fully what the Monster Jam Hall of Fame actually is, but when you get to recognize and Dennis Anderson, Scott Douglas, Mike Wales, and now Gary Porter. I mean, for being the first 4 members of the Monster Jam Hall of Fame, I say those are pretty damn good, 4 picks right there. Now, let's get started off with what happened this past weekend in Houston, Texas. Right out of the gate, you got John Gordon going, ham, bam.
Ouch. Okay.
Hold it up, baby. Hold it up. Thanks to Monster Jam Lord for these clips right here. Todd LeDuc doing a really cool mini flip, had an awesome save, basically a double backflip for the most part.
And honestly, man, as far as like how Monster Jam events have been going this year, this was probably one of the better events that have actually recently happened, because there were trucks that were all going just all out in everything. Tyler Meninga was actually, honestly, I kind of want to talk about Tyler for a minute, because we were a little skeptical seeing that Tyler's going to be jumping out of arenas next year and going into stadiums.
Yep.
This event proved to me that this man is not afraid to go into stadiums, because this guy is not afraid to go big. He's got plenty of control behind the wheel of that black and green wrecking machine. And not to mention, he actually did a bicycle to moonwalk almost better than some of the attempts I've seen out of Ryan Anderson.
Now, I will say this. Historically speaking, Tyler Meninga has not done very well in stadiums. And I don't know if that has been their reason as to why they haven't brought him in stadiums, because whenever they give him the shot, he just hasn't come through. But it's been long overdue for him to get back, or to get into stadiums anyways, I should say. So this is just a taste of what is to come next year in the first quarter. Now, moving forward, this little clip that we saw of the fast metal truck, Spence, I want you to tell everybody kind of what's going on here. What's going through your mind when you see a truck coming up to a dirt ramp and he goes sideways?
Honestly, when you see a truck, like, so he hit the ramp straight on, and then as it went sideways. First thing in my mind is either the locker or possibly an axle just went kaput. So,
to my knowledge, from what Cody put on his Instagram story, he broke an outer axle. That's just why that happens. You don't have any power on that side, so all your power is going from one direction, and there you go, shooting sideways. And that was one of his first hits of freestyle. Didn't have a very long run. So you got Nick Pag out here in the Kraken, or as we like to say it, the tomfoolery motorsports fan, the Crackler, going out here and hitting a backflip. Got a rotated the son of a gun. Couldn't get to come back around, smashing up that beautiful Kraken body. And
I was going to say, wasn't that a brand new body too?
I think it was.
Oh my gosh, Nick. So I'm surprised we don't have any footage from racing, because Cynthia actually had a pretty gnarly crash in racing.
We'll get there.
I'm just saying, we're kind of starting backwards here. We usually start with racing, then freestyle. Oh, there goes the body. So any of the fiberglass fanatics out there you go if you want some Monster Truck Galaxy. But this, ow. You know Bryce must have felt that after that run. Holy
I like this
crap.
move right here for Mr. Mintz, going up, gonna hit the stoppy, put her in reverse, and then we got another camera angle thanks to Mr. Cody Saucier. Check this out. In-cab footage, the dash cam basically from Cody Saucier in Fast Metal. Now here's your racing footage.
There it is. Yep, too much throttle, not enough out. Now.
Oh,
no.
Building damage.
Womp, womp.
Here's your final round of racing. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, Todd LeDuc, Monster Energy. I love this race.
Yeah, I bet you do, but something tells me that you're not going to like the outcome.
No, I'm not too crazy about it. You see, Todd got a bad hop there off of that second jump, which sets him up to come in second place in racing. But that's okay, because what was it that you said before the show? What was very important about this show to Mr. LeDuc?
So after Todd actually won the overall of this event, we believe this is his 100th event win. Either event win or just win overall. But still, 100 wins to Todd LeDuc in his Monster Jam career. Congrats to him. We know your homeboy over here is super excited for you. But it's honestly like kind of like going back and talking about the show for a little bit. Every single truck that was there for Houston, everybody seemed like they were on their A game. I mean, yes, you didn't really have an Anderson, but you had Tyler Meninga going out and just showing what he's capable of in a stadium. I believe that was Armando Castro. That was an El Toro logo.
Yes.
We clearly see he's not afraid to air it out. Bryce Kenny, even though the Andersons aren't there, he's still trying to air it out, and he still can't, for the life of him, get a win under his belt. Bryce, you're slowly turning into the next Lindsey Wink. You're a great driver, but you can't win shit. Come on, man.
And I gotta agree with that though. I mean, it's like he's right there, right? He's gotta break through the ceiling, and he can't quite get there. He's so close though, so damn close. But like you said, that was a great show. The show last weekend in Arlington was a great show as well. I think what's really interesting though is I feel like when they first did this course at the Glendale show and we live streamed the event, and oh my
We're
god,
so sorry.
we gave our 2 cents on how we felt about that event. I think Feld listened. I think they heard what we had to say, what the fans had to say about that show. They kind of organized the layout of that track. And obviously the freestyle footage from that show was excellent. So they got something figured out now. And that would be a fun track to watch, y'all. I especially love the racing course, but seeing how guys have to rework their driving style come freestyle, I like this track now.
So I kind of want to talk about tracks for a little bit because going into 2022, everyone's kind of wondering what are the tracks going to be. Well, I did kind of hearing through the rumor mill and kind of talking to people that we know they're still involved. It looks like, I believe it's Stadium Series Red and Stadium Series Yellow, I believe. And I believe they're only going to be basically sticking to Chicago style and St. Louis style, which, we're all used to that type of track. We're used to that type of racing. However, it does seem like they're going to be trying to keep the Cyclone track somewhat involved in some of the stadium events. So if it's a bigger floor plan, like we've seen at, the Houston, the Arlington, and the Glendale track, they might be trying to use it. But honestly, it's great that they actually listen where it's like, hey, give it another chance, make a couple tweaks here and there. And honestly, it was a great show. It was a phenomenal show. So honestly, I hope it stays a little bit more in the main series for 2022, because honestly, a lot of us we're kind of skeptical because there's a lot of people we know that are not coming back, or we don't know are coming back, or some people are like, why did I get a schedule? Nothing's confirmed. So we're really excited to see what 2022 has in store for the Monster Jam season and obviously I think independents are going to walk away with the season for sure. However,
they play a huge role in Monster Jam right now. Monster Jam needs independence now more than they ever have. They were kind of getting to that point last year or before the pandemic hit. People were thinking maybe Monster Jam is going to drop out on the independents. People it had been rumored that once Monster Jam gets to a certain number of trucks, company trucks, that they're not going to need the independents anymore. That's clearly not the case now. They need the independence. They need all the crew guys they can get, which, as of this past weekend, was Cooper Knuckles' last show, working there at the Paxton shop. That Paxton shop, holy crap.
Dwindling.
I mean, yeah, they got what? Steve Lashinsky, to my knowledge, still working there for the Paxton crew. I mean, holy crap. They're going to have a new identity, as a whole for the Paxton shop now.
Yeah, honestly, and stepping up next year to be Tom Mintz's crew chief. I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, but a very good friend of ours said pressure creates diamonds. So we'll see what comes of it. There's going to be a lot of crew guys that are coming in that, have never really worked on a monster truck, don't really know the industry. There's going to be a lot of young blood out there, but I feel like, it's going to be the pressure that Monster Jam and their staff needs in order to kind of get back to where they were. So I think they're going to do great. I think there's the company trucks for sure are going to be struggling in the beginning of the year, but I think eventually they'll get it. Now, I kind of want to hit people that are listening to this bombshell because a lot of us we're wondering, what's going to come of the Monster Jam World Finals.
Now, before you get there, before you're done with that, we are done with our event recap. Now, here at the Throttle Out Show, we do not have sponsors. So the Throttle Out Show is presented literally by thethrottleoutshow.com. Go there, grab you some merch, support us so we can keep the wheel spinning over here. Now, Spence, as you were saying.
So we at first, I kind of predicted this, when we were talking about the World Finals, because World Finals is very iconic for having a J-Hook style race course. And when we went to Monster Jam World Finals 20 in Orlando, they did the big elevated start on top of the stadium, kind of go down into the berm, still somewhat of a J-Hook style race, something absolutely insane. Well, when they announced the Monster Jam World Finals, it's like you could buy a ticket literally all the way around the stadium. So everyone's wondering, well, what kind of track layout is Monster Jam going to have in order to make it entertaining? Because you need to have a unique track layout in order to basically make it World Finals, basically a World Finals caliber track. Well, what started out as a prediction seems to be coming to reality. And that's going to be, it seems like Monster Jam World Finals 21 is going to be an over-under style racetrack.
Oh, baby. Are you kidding me? And you nailed that, dude. You predicted that. You yourself.
Damn right. I mean, I don't like to gloat too much, but yeah, damn right. Now, we have no idea what it's going to look like. We have no idea what the speculations may be. All I've heard from somebody that still works with a business is they took inspiration from one of the tracks that are in one of the Steel Titans games. As far as what track that may be, I have no idea. If you guys tried watching the playthrough series I tried doing, I got bored of Steel Titans fairly quick. So I honestly have no idea what track that may or may not be that they're going to try and cram inside Orlando. So honestly, if this is what they're going to pull off and this is what they're going to do, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm going to try my best to try and actually get down there to Orlando and hopefully enjoy the event.
Hopefully we will as a show. We'll be able to get down there and, get to hang out with the fans and our friends and have a good time. But to that World Finals track, yeah, from what I heard, it's going to be an over-under track. They've been practicing that track already. Teams have been out there at MJU on the stadium course. Somebody got out there with the weed eater and some weed be gone, and they cleaned that baby up, and they practiced the over and under style. Now, I do think it's interesting considering that when you do an over under style, that is one truck jumping over a big enough gap that another truck can drive underneath. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be skilled to drive a track like that. Okay. At the Back to School Bash in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the dirt track, they've done that track for many years.
Oh yeah.
It took some learning. It took some guys, actually getting in their head. Hey, literally, remember, when in doubt, throttle out. You do not want to come up short on that bitch. This past year, they had an over and under course. I don't think they did it for racing, but they kept it there for freestyle because it was a mud show. That's why they didn't do it for racing. And then for freestyle, guys are going out there trying to hit it, and they were coming up short. And it was almost nasty for like 3 trucks in a row hitting that bitch, coming up looking like they were trying to attempt to stop you. And Spence, when you air a truck out like that and you come up short, it's not going to feel good. So needless to say, there could be some wipeouts come World Finals in Orlando this year if they're really doing an over and under style course.
Honestly, and I'm looking forward to it. However, one of my good friends actually said to me, it's like, hey, what if Monster Jam was to cheap out and kind of do what motocross does? Because if you guys pay attention to motocross, they have over and under tracks, but they have like these bridges that the bikes kind of go over top of. So you don't have that worry of, colliding with other drivers. So I'm kind of like worrying because if Monster Jam's going to like make an over under track, I feel like they're going to try and make a bridge rather than actually make it a legitimate over under to where, you're jumping over a truck, which would be way more insane than seeing a truck go through a tunnel.
That would be really weird.
That'd be disappointing. But also, what's that going to do for freestyle? What's that going to do for, the skills? Well, I believe what they say. The first day is going to be racing and skills or high jump, one of the two. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then the next day was going to be skills and freestyle. So I guess they'd probably change it up both days. But regardless, having an over-under track in a stadium in Monster Jam is going to be very interesting, and we cannot wait to see what the concept is, hopefully sometime in the near future.
Hopefully, and I think if I can get this baby to pull up, we can have a little sample as to what you and I are talking about with the over and under course. For those of y'all who aren't familiar, if you strictly watch Monster Jams, you don't know what the over and under course is. Here we go.
Hey, I believe I know the guy that made this design.
You do?
Yeah. Mr. Jam Customs Official, he kind of threw this together. Now, I think this would be, even if, by the way, RC guys, take a screenshot if you want to run this at one of your little shows, because this seems like this would honestly work. I think this would be a ton of fun as a show to be in. My only thing is there needs to be, I don't know, either some berms where these sharp turns are in the red and the blue lane, or there needs to be some jumps, some tabletops. But regardless, this can make for some very interesting, very fast racing.
You're absolutely right. And I think, like you said, Spence, I do think they will end up putting some type of bridge where you're seeing the start on both ends. That I'm assuming that's where your gap is going to be. I'm thinking they are going to put some type of bridge there just for people who don't know how to drive the course, who, starting out at World Finals like they did the last World Finals in Orlando. They never done a race coming down off the hill like that, and it messed up a lot of drivers. No, there weren't any, crazy gnarly wrecks from it, but I think there will be if you go out there and you start sending unexperienced drivers out there running an over-under course at Camping World Stadium.
But regardless, we were talking about this is going to be the Independence, event to run with, because
True.
there's independents that are in the Monster Jam lineup that have ran these type of events, the over and unders, and they're going to think it's like, cool, this is an interesting track. It's a cakewalk. Monster Jam, on the other hand, they're going to need a whole day just for their staff and their drivers to literally go out and practice, which is just going to waste more fuel, more parts, more resources, while all the independents are like, yeah, we got this.
Y'all understand that, when you hold a practice event at Monster Jam anyways, okay, but especially for World Finals, okay, the day of practice, day of qualifying, trucks can go out there and they can basically make as many race passes that they want, as they want, okay? Mm-hmm. We've seen trucks go out there in the past, and whether or not they get, number one qualifier or they're like the top 5, then trucks go out in racing and actually have mechanical issues because they put down a lot of race passes, the previous day. When you go out and do that, you're putting more wear and tear on your vehicle, which you're like, yeah, I know that makes sense. But in a monster truck, it's not the same wear and tear like on your everyday vehicle. It's like wear and tear times 10. We heard Joey Sylvester come on our show before and say, if you really break down the cost, monster truck motors only have so many starts to them, right? And really think about that. Really let that soak in your mind. An engine on a monster truck has so many starts. We don't know what that number is, but Joey was saying it's basically like $100 for him to go out and push start on his monster truck and fire it up every time. $100. Whether he's moving it, whether he's racing it, jumping it, $100 every time he goes and fires up the engine. Let's just say I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people wanting to do a lot of race passes this year come World Finals practice, and it's going to eat up a lot of trucks. It don't matter if they get any better from it. I think it'll put more wear and tear on the trucks, more than anything.
I say save the money. Don't run practice because Midget Racing Motors only has so many resources to build their engines. So it's just like, save the engines. If it's literally a driver course and these drivers are as good as you say they are, go back to the day where you'd show up to an event. There was no practice. You would literally walk the track. Take your ass out and walk around the track as to what you're supposed to be doing. And that's how you learn. And then once you get in the seat, hey, guess what? That's how you learn. Maybe even do qualifying. I mean, if you're going to do an entire day where you have racing and then high jump, which I still think is a stupid championship, to be completely honest.
The way it's set up, yeah, I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah, and you remember they were even doing practice for that. They were doing practice for high jump.
Yeah.
Of all things. Like that is ludicrous. That is dumb. But whatever. We don't make the rules over there at Monster Jam. We just like to report and call them out on their bullshit. So
now,
here we are.
You have people in the comment section who are already predicting winners for World Finals racing. They're calling independence right now. Jimmy Cristofoletti calling it. John Gordon takes the World Finals win. Bold prediction, but he does seem to do pretty good at those back to school bashes out there in Charlotte, North Carolina. Taylor Andy saying if trucks are 100%, Garners are going to sweep the racing.
I feel like what we should do for the 2022 season, I feel like we should do almost kind of like what they do for like college basketball for March Madness. We should literally have like fan predictions, like literally have like a fill out thing and see who could get the closest to literally like who wins this event for this weekend. You got 2 events going on in stadiums, and you got however many in arenas, and see who can get the closer predicting every single winner in every single element.
Good point. I like that.
Something we can try.
Create a little competition, maybe a little giveaway if somebody gets it right. I like that.
Set a bracket and get drunk. I'm in. Me too, Jimmy.
Now, Jimmy C also says, I wonder which independents will get invited to the World Finals. Well, that is an interesting question, considering that from what we were told, there's only going to be, I think, 24 competitors at the World Finals. Now, there's normally more than that for racing, right?
32. I always thought 32 is the magic number for World Finals, and it seems like over the years it's just getting less and less and less and less.
So that just makes me wonder, I mean, are they basically just going to invite all the independents that are on Monster Jam tours to the World Finals?
I mean, makes sense, right? It would only make the most sense, but honestly, I feel like Orlando's this World Finals is going to kind of be, it's going to be another learning curve, but it's also going to be one of those situations where it's like, we kind of just got to get through it because A, the timing and the weather is going to suck as it did the last time. And B, I feel like the stadium, like the property itself, not just the stadium, I mean, everything surrounding it doesn't really have the amount of room for a World Finals caliber. Because you people that went to like, Las Vegas, there'd be this massive truck parade with like 50 something trucks, like something ridiculous. It was a celebration for like the entire industry. And now it's dwindling. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I feel like they need to go to Foxborough or Glendale or just some bigger venue for the World Finals in 2023.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at this rate, you're right. Now, I mean, I understand why they're going. They're trying to build their relationship with, their people over in Orlando, which is closer to Tampa. I mean, they're trying to keep everything closer to them, cut down on costs. I mean, I get it. Orlando is still a happening area, and people love Orlando. I love Orlando. Living there, I got to know and love the area, and why I see why they want to keep it in Orlando. I mean, Orlando's the Vegas of the East Coast, basically. So, I mean, I get why
that's Miami.
No, it's not. No,
I don't know. I feel
not
like it's
even
formerly
close.
Miami.
You were wrong, and we're moving forward. This portion of the Throttle Out Show is brought to you by thethrottleoutshow.com. Go there and get you some merch. We had somebody submit some questions last Wednesday, Wheels Up Wednesday, that I didn't get to, and we actually covered a little bit of it. And since we're kind of hitting around the topic of, maybe all the independents getting invited back to World Finals, one of the questions that we got was, what do you guys think about Obsession Racing not competing in Monster Jam next first quarter? Now, Spence, Rick kind of answered that while he was on air with us last week. What did he say?
Basically, he was like, he just doesn't agree with Feld and what they're trying to push as far as like forcing competitors and people who are in the Monster Jam series to, they're forcing them to get the vaccine, regardless of what your stance is, whether you believe in it or not. Forcing somebody to do something with their body that they don't want to do, it's not right. So I stand with the Swansons on that. You can't force people to do something you don't want to do. It's your body, your choice. Do whatever you feel is right. But honestly, it's the Swansons. It's Rick. He's a businessman. And honestly, that man has had his truck in so many commercials. I think he's going to be okay. It's going to kind of suck to not be able to see him because honestly, Rick is one of those guys. He's an open book. He'll talk your ear off about anything and everything. We honestly need to just have him on the show for, just a Rick Swanson and Eric Swanson segment.
We need to get Timothy Jones on too while you're watching, Timmy. Come on, hang out with us sometime. I want to pick your brain. We already got questions for you. I'm not going to ask them now. We'll wait till you're on air with us. Now, we got another question, Spence. This question sent in by Mr. Joey. What stunt do you think the Monster Jam 30th anniversary truck will do at the next World Finals, and who will drive it?
Well, it ain't going to be Colton Eichelberger. That's for a fact.
You're right.
I feel like the stupid stunt truck there. I feel like Monster Jam's putting more money into that stupid stunt truck than they are into the big, celebration of 40 years with Gravedigger. So I don't think the stunt's going to be all that great. I think they're going to try doing. I think they might do like a 10 truck jump or something, just something ridiculous. And honestly, it's like, yeah, a truck jump is cool if you're going to go to like an international show because that's kind of like an Evel Knievel kind of thing. But at World Finals, it's not that cool, really. If you're gonna do something impressive, maybe attempt what was it that Todd LeDuc attempted in World Records? Was it the double backflip?
Yeah, forward momentum.
Yeah, I could see them trying that and having Todd drive. Honestly, I could see them trying to redo the double backflip and trying to land it. But
like what
I almost don't want to see it.
I mean, truth be told, I don't either. I y'all know clearly I love Todd, but I was honestly questioning his sanity going in and doing a stunt like that. I thought that was absolutely insane, taking the possibility of 12,000 pounds coming down on your head. I mean,
it's dumb. It's very
there
dumb.
Were no successful attempts in practice. Leading up to that event,
I believe he said that he had a couple concussions because of that. I mean, it's the brain is a very delicate thing. Even though we don't use it a lot in the monster truck industry, we still need it.
So I don't know what the stunt's going to be, but I could see them potentially wanting to do that again and make that, a much bigger deal. Like you said, I could also see him going out there and trying to, jump some more trucks. But I mean, you got to think, that stadium's not that big. And at some point you're gonna have to start going up with your stunts, and you got to have a long runway to do the double forward momentum backflip. If you go back and you watch the Breaking World Records episode, he was driving what seemed like, 20 acres before he finally got to the jump. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what the hell they've got planned, y'all. We've not heard any secrets yet.
What I would like to see, if I may, what I would like to see, if you guys ever watched the Nitro Circus movie from way back when, in the very opening scene, you had a couple monsters. You had the Nitro Circus monster truck and Gravedigger kind of jumping around these dunes, and you also had a bunch of guys on motocross bikes and everything. Why don't we do that? I mean, if we're not having the Triple Threat series come back, we have a bunch of freestyle motocross guys come in. Why don't we have some kind of an encore where we kind of combine the two, choreograph some kind of track layout to where you could have the best of both worlds, and it's just this really insane kind of finale, rather than just having a monster truck going out and doing something stupid that's just going to do nothing but obliterate it in the end anyway.
Well, that kind of go ahead and leads into the last question that we had sent in to us by Joey, which is, do you guys think the Gravedigger 40th anniversary encore will be somewhat choreographed like in years past?
Yep.
I'd say you could probably count on it.
Yeah, you can basically count on it. Honestly, I wish Bigfoot would do more kind of big anniversary things other than just occasional paint schemes and die cast, because I think they're on their 45th anniversary for Bigfoot. But honestly, the choreographed crap, I mean, you saw the awful looking paint scheme that they put together for the 40th anniversary. I don't know if that's just going to be only for touring or if they're actually going to have something for the actual World Finals itself. I've said it before. I say bring back the different variations of Gravedigger, because I know I've seen them in the up in the rafters. Bring back the old Ford panel truck, bring back the Legend, bring back Grandma, make the 50s Ford pickup truck again. I mean, just have throughout the entire year just different occasional Gravediggers. It says, yeah, Gravedigger is at this event, but you don't know what variation of Gravedigger is going to be there. Kind of like what you get with Bigfoot. You see Bigfoot, but Bigfoot has God only knows how many paint schemes now, right, to where it's no longer just the blue Ford. I mean, you have red, white, and blue. You have the black and flames, the purple and flames. There's so much that they do. Do that with Gravedigger. It's your flagship truck, and you make so much money on merchandise. And just do that.
Listen to this guy. He's speaking truths over here.
Truths.
Joey Maletti, thank you for watching. And if y'all in the comment section, you're watching and listening right now, you got something you want to get off your chest, or even if you don't want to be recognized, there's just something you want to get out there in the known or ask a question. I mean, we can always present a question as anonymous. So thank you, Joey, for watching and supporting us. Bigfoot does it very subtle, and they leave you wanting more, which, I mean, I kind of agree with Jimmy, but that's also because I'm a Bigfoot guy and I love what they have going on. But what I was going to say earlier, Spence, is Bigfoot obviously didn't do that great at all. I don't think they won anything this past weekend.
Nothing in Hot Wheels, nothing in Toughest.
Hot Wheels Tour broke, went to the Toughest Tour and broke. I think in Willie competition, and this is just me speculating. I don't know, because obviously I wasn't there, so I don't have a whole lot of room to talk, but I watched Bigfoot go out in Willie competition. And in his second hit, I believe AJ Stratman was driving, if whoever fed me this information was correct, goes up and hits a wheelie and gets on the throttle in the air before he lands on the throttle on the ass end, which is never good for a truck. You're breaking axles, possibly thirds at that point. So Bigfoot just had a tough weekend this past weekend. We need to see them get back in the winner's circle. I don't know if Josh Gibson's going to get back to driving for them or not, but one of their, how do I say this nicely? One of their more edgier drivers in recent years.
You basically have two complete polar opposites when you look at the Bigfoot camp. You got someone like Christian Norman, and then you got Josh Gibson. Yeah, Josh Gibson definitely would fit more of the role of Snakebite. Which honestly, where the hell is Snakebite? It's also like Snakebite's big anniversary. Why the hell is Snakebite haven't been brought out at all this year? That's another weird one.
That is definitely another weird one, man. I don't understand how, first of all, you didn't start off the Hot Wheels Tour with Snakebite. That was really freaking weird to me. I mean, Snakebite, basically created by Hot Wheels. I don't know.
Very, very strange. Well, man, is there anything else we need to go over? Because if we missed any shows, guys, we're very sorry. But there's been a lot that's gone on this weekend. It was a great weekend for monster trucks. Maybe not such a great weekend for certain teams, but it was jam-packed full of a ton of stuff going on. And obviously, we're only 2/3 of the show. Our media coordinator, Harley, is down for the count. So we've been kind of mainly Tweety's been doing this all himself, kind of putting the footage up there for you guys. So thank you for, sticking it out with us for the entire show. But is there anything else we need to go over, man?
Let's just say we got some stuff coming for the Throttle Out show. Maybe within the next week, we might be doing changing some things around here with our live stream. We'll see. ThrottleOutShow.com. We got fitted hats now, and they're priced pretty freaking reasonably. If you ask me, I think they're our cheapest hat that's on there, and they're still really good hats. Team Throttle Monster, Too Tall's wearing them now. Good all black fitted hats that say the Throttle Out Show with no tire tracks on top. So go get you some of that. We got hoodies. I think I got long sleeves that are on the website now. Go get you long sleeves. It's getting cooler out there. I mean, that's really all I got, Spence.
I need to get another hoodie, but hey, honestly, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. And we cannot wait to see you guys again on Wednesday. And obviously we'll have everybody's favorite segment, Shows with Spence. You really need to work on that jingle, my guy.
I'll tinker a little bit with it. But for those of y'all who tuned in tonight, thank you so freaking much. Go to throttleoutshow.com. Support this show. And remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all. Good freaking night.